as soon as I see someone older in the room, I'm like, okay, time to scat. I don't know how weird this is, but I struggle having conversations with people who are older than me. And it's not necessarily because it's we don't have anything in common or anything to talk about. Um, but mostly it's because of, I guess most of it is the way that I was raised, maybe. Um, when I was growing up, as soon as older people came into the room, we went out. We went out. We disappeared immediately. Okay. And even if they came with the express reason of like visiting us, the younger people, and seeing us, most times what would end up happening is at some point we would get kicked out of the conversation and have to leave the room. And I guess that sort of stayed with me, that sort of mindset and approach. Like anytime there's any older people around, I know it's time to scat. And it's not even that much of a age difference that sort of triggers that response in me. But it's like as soon as I see someone older in the room, I'm like, okay, time to scat. Nothing for me here. And it's made it difficult for me to hold conversations with older people because it gets so awkward quickly for me. And I find myself in spaces where older people are there, unless I'm asked expressly to express myself. I find it hard to express myself in those situations. But the only exception really to this is when we are sort of like um, 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 when the material of the day, what we're discussing, is an intellectual. When we're having an intellectual exercise, that's different. It's completely different. If we're discussing ideas, I know how to stay in that room. I know how to interact. But small talk with older people is so difficult for me. I think that also might be in part because I was, or we were always encouraged to sort of wrestle with ideas and question things. We were given the liberty and space to question almost every other day. We were getting lectures here at home. I don't think my dad even remembers this, but I think grade five, I get introduced to Socrates in Wasaso. I always mix those two pronunciations. Socrates in grade five and Plato. And here I am fascinated by this idea of who are these? Who's this Aristotle? Who's this Plato? Who's this Socrates? From grade five already, having to play with those ideas, having to struggle with those. So whenever it is an intellectual exercise that we're doing, I speak more freely. I'm able to express more freely. I'm able to attack ideas more freely. But when it comes to the social setting, we always scat. We got out of the room ASAP. So that has always been some of that has always been so uncomfortable for me. To sit in a room where there's older people and we're discussing socially. So difficult. But every time we try to have intellectual conversations, I can speak freely there, freely, honestly.